How do you run a red light in front of a police officers? This car will dare, and also extremely arrogant. But when the old police saw the driver was stunned. There is no driver in the car, only a child. It turned out that this is a driverless car, but ran a red light, always have to write a ticket. But the girl was not happy. She said she did not drive. Why write a ticket? Nolan was speechless for a while. But this year, there are many strange things. Today is Nolan's first patrol with a policewoman trainee, and the policewoman trainee suddenly yells at a car to stop. Her reason is simple. It's her intuition, but the owner of the car has not violated the law at all, and it is not in line with the process to stop a car like this without any reason. The policewoman in training insisted on checking the trunk, and of course, the old lady wasn't satisfied, but blood was actually found in the car. I can't imagine that patrolman can still work on intuition. After the technical section test, the blood was left 10 hours ago, indicating that the missing person may still be alive. The police pinpointed the old woman's grandson as a suspect, because the missing woman is none other than his ex-girlfriend. The problem is, since the bloodstains are evidence obtained through illegal means by the police trainee, it's inadmissible in court. So the only way to solve the case is to look for new clues. So the police started to follow the suspect around the clock. Everything was going fine, but the policewoman in training exposed herself when she started to follow him. She kept her eyes on the suspect and let him realize it. As a result, no evidence was found and the suspect was lost. Luckily, Nolan was there in time, or else the policewoman in training would have been doomed. On this day, the policewoman trainee is facing the prospect of being kicked out of the police station. Nolan, as an instructor, has no face, and the only way to save her reputation is to try to solve the case. At this critical moment, the policewoman in training thinks that the missing woman is likely to be somewhere on the beach. Nolan analyzes the situation and thinks it makes sense. There are only a few places the suspect frequents, and an abandoned house on the beach is a much more likely hiding place. So the two of them went to the house and found the missing and kidnapped woman. As Nolan searches the rest of the house, the policewoman in training suddenly spots the suspect in the woods and gives chase, leaving Nolan behind in the house. The most annoying thing was that no matter how much Nolan shouted over the intercom, the policewoman in training didn't respond. Nolan was really unlucky to have this apprentice. After the paramedics arrived, Nolan drove the police car and searched the area 800 times. The policewoman in training finally responded to what Nolan said over the intercom, because she'd lost the guy again. Nolan was lucky to have a good-tempered instructor like Nolan, but if Bradford had let her, he would have scolded her to death. Nolan located the meter box near the police trainee, but the man suddenly attacked her, aiming at the gun in her waist. At first, the trainee policewoman was able to symbolically resist a few times, but after all, there is a big difference between the size of men and women, and soon she was choked to death. At the critical moment, Nolan pounced and punched the suspect twice, easily catching him in the act. After this incident, the trainee policewoman finally realized her mistake because she acted recklessly and completely disregarded her partner's feelings. That's why she got into a passive situation 3 times. But then again, who hasn't made a mistake when they were young? Stay tuned to GG Film for a more interesting episode tomorrow.